So hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So in this tutorial video, we are gonna learn about our CSS buttons. Okay, so we already know how to add buttons. Okay, but we are gonna do the different thing, animation, hover types, and all. Okay, so let's create a basic button styling here. Okay, so then we are gonna add our hover types and shadow types. Okay, rounded buttons and all. Okay, so let's move forward to a basic button right now. So I create a button and I give them our this is as a default button. Okay, this is a normal button. Now I'm gonna create here anchor tag, hyperreference link as a empty hashtag, whichever link you need to write, you can do that. I give them the class name A, then close. Now we need to create, let's create a more as a button class equals to capital A, then close, and I give them the name as sorry button. Now let's create one more button using input type button and class I give them name A, then value give them as a input whichever you want to write. If you want to write ABC, you can do that. Okay, I write down here input for our input button. So here we need to write our class attributes as you can see. So I write here capital A, then I'm gonna write here background as a color. I write down red. Then you can also add border if you want to border as none. Let's see how it look like. Then we are gonna add more things here. So as you can see, this is our default button and this is our button in black text and this is our background color red which we write. So let's give them the color as black. Then save. This is our black is default color. Okay. Now let's give them the padding as a 10 pixel or as a 20 pixel as a wide. So as you can see, this is how it look like. Here is empty. So let's just write down here. Here I write down link button. Then save. So as you can see, the link button is clickable. Here you can see our cursor is pointed right now, and here is not. If you want to do this pointer right now, you can also do that. So we are gonna write in the next here. So firstly, let's write our text alignment. Give them center. Let's write basic. Okay. Then text decoration. As if you want to dash more, you can also do that. As you can see, but I write here as a none. Then let's write down display as a inline block. Then as you can see, this is how it look like. Our inline block is gonna be down slightly upper. Now let's write down our font size. I give them as a 20 pixel. Then margin as a 40 pixel over X. Then our 20 pixel Y. Then let's see how it look like. So as you can see, this is our this is our default button, this is our link button, this is our button normal, and this is our input type which we use. So as you can see, here is cursor is showing a pointer. If you want all these in pointer, you can also do that. So let's write down our cursor as a pointer, then save. So as you can see here now is in pointer mode right now, button and input. So this is how basic our basic buttons here, guys. Okay, now we are gonna start our more advanced level. Okay, we are gonna do that button size or text, as you can see, which you use. So we are gonna add our button size. Okay, this is our text size. Okay, guys, this is our text size. Now we are gonna add our button size. Okay, so for that we are gonna write here our ID. So I give them the ID. Okay, ID as equals to capital A1, which I write. Okay, I also write down here ID as a capital A1. Okay, here is the input. I give them the ID name as capital A1, and also I give them the class as a A2, which we already did here. So let's give them A2, then save. Okay, now I am gonna write here our hashtag A1. Okay, then I'm gonna write here font size as 30 pixel, then save. So as you can see, my font size is 30 pixel right now over A1. Okay, now let's add our dot A2 font size as a 40 pixel, then save. So as you can see here, as you can see, I write down both. So it's gonna be take ID as a prefer here. Okay, guys, because ID is classified as a higher than class. Okay, if you watch it our first video, class selector, so you can understand how it works. Okay, now then save. Then as you can see, my is bigger right now. Let's give them 60 pixels so you can understand. As you can see, this is my A2. Okay, guys, so this is how it works, guys. Okay, now we are gonna add a button padding here. Okay, so if you want to add a new button, you can do that. Okay, so I'm gonna do in the same. So as you can see, this is a class A. Okay, so I'm gonna write here class A. Then I'm gonna add here padding as a 9 pixel, or right as a Y as a 60 pixel. Then save. So as you can see, that this is a padding is right now, and if you do that here as a 99, suppose. So this is how padding is look like right now, and A2 didn't, because we didn't write a padding here. If you want, you can also do that. So I give them padding as a 10 pixel, 10 pixel and 24 pixel. Then save. So as you can see, this is my button padding right now. Okay, so let's minimize this right now. Yeah. So as you can understand right now, this is how our button padding works here, guys. Okay. Now we are gonna learn our border styling. Okay. So let's open our code. So now we are gonna add our border as a 6 pixel solid. Let's take it as a green color. Then save. So as you can see, this is my border is look like right now in button mode. If you want to add border in your button, let's also add here. So let's just copy this one and paste it, and I give them the color as a black. So as you can see, this is our color blacks look like right now. Okay. So that is you can add our border styling here by that. Okay, now let's move forward to our background color. As you can see, if you want to add your background color in the button, okay, you can also do that. So let's write down as a background color, and I give them name as a aqua, then save. So as you can see, my background color right now buttons aqua color right now. Okay, let's here change also. Let's just copy this one, paste, and give them the red color. Then save. So as you can see, this is how red color looks like right now in background color. Okay, guys, and this is our cursor pointer. Here is not cursor pointer as you can see, because for our if you want to add your all these for our this button, because we changed here path. Okay, as you can see, we change it as class A2, which we write is class A. Okay, as you can see, this is for our class A. Okay, so we need to also write down for that. So I'm gonna just copy this one and then paste and give them the name A2. So as you can see, my cursor point is here right now. So that is how it works. Okay, guys. Now, now let's move forward to if you want all these in as you can see, which we write here dot a as a same. Okay, if you want to differentiate between this one, you can also do that. So let's write down here div. So I am just gonna cut this and paste it here, then save, then it's gonna be changed as you can see. So now I'm gonna give here as a div dot clear, then save. So as you can see, this is my div looks like right now, as you can see. Okay, if I give the padding here as a 1, then here as you can see, then 0, then this is how it looks like. So that is how you can change if you want to add your A2 and all. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna give this the name as A2, then save. As you can see, this is my 100%. Yeah, this is my 100% right now view. Okay, so that is how it works. I write down in the class attributes because class for the which we write here is all the class. That's why. If you want to write in ID, you can also do that. Okay. So now we are gonna add our hoverable buttons. Okay, guys. As you can see, our pointer cursor is here right now in button mode. Okay. Now we are gonna learn our hoverable buttons. Okay. So for that, I'm gonna write it here transition duration as a 0.5 percent as a let's take it as a 0.5 second. Then save. I need to create a new hover buttons here for that. So let's just copy this one. You so let's create dot a hover curly brackets open and close, and I give them the background color as green. Then color as white. This color as you can see which I give this color is shows our text color and this is our background color. Okay, guys. So as you can see, let's save it. Let's change this color so we can understand. So I'm gonna give them as a red, then save. So as you can see, when I move my mouse over here, it's become green color right now, aqua to green. As you can see, when I move my mouse over here, it didn't, because for that we give A2 class. So I'm gonna also do the same as A2 over curly brackets open and close. Let's give the different color here as a background color as a gold. Then save. So as you can see, when I move my mouse over here, it's become golden color. If you want to change this text color, you can also do that by color as a white. Then save. So as you can see, my color becomes white right now. Okay, so let's just start with our shadow buttons, guys. If you want to add a shadow, as you can see, this is how our hoverable buttons works. And now we are going to add our shadow here by hoverables. Okay, when we hover our buttons over, then it's going to be show the shadow in the background. Okay, so let's start. So I'm going to write in our class A box shadow. I'm going to write the X and Y. So for that, let's just write down, and I give them the RGBA as a 00. If you want to alpha for opacity, then you can do that. So I'm going to give them the 0.9. Okay, then comma, then I'm once again add over here, and 20 pixel 0 RGBA. Just take these. So I'm gonna last, if you want to add here 0.90, you can do that. Then save. Then let's see how is. So as you can see, our shadow is showing here, guys. Okay, now it's showing our shadow automatically. But if you want your shadow on when you hover, then that's why we are gonna write. As you can see, let's add this example as our hover here. So I'm just gonna copy this one, then paste it in our A2 hover, and save. Then let's see our output. As you can see, this is how is our box shadow look like. But when I move my mouse over A2, as you can see, it's showing here our shadow. So that is how you can add shadow here, guys. Okay. Now let's move forward to our rounded buttons. Okay. If you want your buttons as a rounded, as square, like that, you can also do that. So we are gonna write our that one. So let's write down. So I'm gonna write here as a border radius. Okay. So let's take example as 4 pixel. So as you can see, my slightly changed here. Okay, and here is not changed by default ever. So let's see how it looks like in 40 pixel. So as you can see, it's become rounded line. Okay. If you want, let's also change the A2. I give them border radius, sorry, radius as if you want to write in percentage, you can also do that. So I give them 60%. So as you can see, this is our 60% look like. If you want 90%, then save. So as you can see, this is how it look like. Okay, guys. Now we are gonna learn a new thing. Okay, our disable buttons. Okay, so for disable button, you need to use opacity property to add a transparency to a button. Okay, so it can look like disable. So these all buttons are available right now, but if you don't want this one, So you can also do that. So for that, let's write down in our. So I'm gonna write it here in our A2 as a opacity as a 0.7. Let's take it as an example. Then I'm gonna give the cursor. For that, let's change this one in our A2 here. Then I'm gonna write it here, our cursor as a not allowed. Then save. So as you can see, is not visible right now because I did the opacity transparency low. Okay, and our cursor when we move is not clickable because it's not allowed. So that is how you can disable the buttons here. This is all are visible and clickable right now. Okay, this one is not. So that is how it works. Now let's move forward to our if you want to add your width of the buttons. Okay, if you want to set your width, as you can see, if you want to set your width as a normal one and bigger one, you can also do that. Okay, so let's see it 100%. This is how it looks like. Okay, now for that we need to write down our width here. So I'm gonna write it here width as a 500 pixel, then save. So as you can see, our 500 pixel look like. And if you want, let's write down width as a. You can also write down by percentage if you want to. So I'm give them the 60%. So as you can see, this is my 60% look like right now. If you want only 10%, then you can also do that. But our text is overlap right now. That's why we need to write 20. So yeah, 20 is perfect. So that is how you can control the width of the buttons. Okay, guys. Now let's move forward to our button groups. Okay, so we need to remove the margins here. Okay, so let's firstly remove this margin. So I'm gonna remove this margin here. Okay, then we need to add our float left to each button to create a and A2 group. Okay, for that we need to write down a float left. Okay, for this let's remove all the here. Okay, and save it in the next file. So I'm gonna just copy this one and I'm gonna paste it here for our more example. So I'm gonna start with our new one if you want to, or if you don't want to, you can also do that. So let's write down here float as a left. Then save. So as you can see, when we do our float button left, it's become group right. So let's give them the width minimum 50 pixel. Yeah, let's give them as a 50 pixel also. So it can adjustable. 50 pixel is not. So let's write down here 200 pixel then save. Yeah, 200 pixel is perfect. Let's change it here also. So as you can see, our float is left side right now, and it's become group. As you can see, our default button is here, but it's become come to here. Okay, so that is how it works. Okay, if you want your button as a vertical side, okay, you can also do that. So let's move forward to, as you can see, which we use here display inline. So I'm gonna clear this one. So enter and click here. So I'm gonna clear this one as a block, as you can see. Now I'm gonna remove the float here as a left. So let's just copy this one and paste it in another. So I'm gonna just cut this float left, then save. So as you can see, our default is here, it's become non-group, okay, and this is our buttons in vertical mode right now, okay. If you want to, let's give them 220, then save. Yeah, it's become perfect right now. When we do over and all, it's all perfect. So that is how it works, okay. So let's save this once again for our this one. It might be helpful in the next example, so I don't need to write down everything, okay. That's why. So I'm gonna start with our animated buttons, okay guys. So I'm gonna create the new ones here, okay. So let's just clear this one. So yeah, here is. Let's also clear this one. Then save. Now I'm gonna write down our some things here, okay. So I'm gonna start with our new example, animated buttons, guys, okay. So for that, let's use our button, then class as a, then give them. I'm gonna give the style here as a vertical, alignment as a auto, baseline, bottom, middle, whichever you want. So I write down here middle, then close. Okay. Now I am gonna create here span tag for our inline is called. So I'm gonna write here hover me. Okay. Then save. Then let's write down here. Let's give them the A. Now we need to write down our code for our animated. So I'm gonna write here display as a inline block. Then I'm gonna give them the border radius as a 5 pixel. Then let's write down the background color as a green. Then our border as a none. Then color, some are the same, but let's write down the new so it's not become the error. That's why. Text alignment as a center. Then give them the font size as a 30 pixel and give them the padding as a 15 pixel. Then I'm gonna give the weights here as a, let's take it as a 150 pixel. Then let's add transition all as a 0.6 second or 7 second, whichever you want. So let's write down cursor as a pointer and I give them the margin as a 10 pixel. Then save. Okay. Let's see how it look like. So as you can see, our overview is look like this. So now let's add our span here. Okay. So I'm gonna write here dot a span. Curly brackets open and close. Then I'm gonna give the cursor here as a pointer. Then display as a inline block. And let's give them the position. Not give the position here right now. So you can understand how it look like. If I write here right down, so you didn't understand. Okay, that's why I'm not gonna write it. So let's write down our span as a after. Curly bracket open and close. I'm not gonna write here anything right now. let's firstly write our dot a over. Then I'm gonna give the span here because I write down here span in our text. Okay, so I'm gonna give them the padding as a, if you want to padding as a left, padding as a right, so let's give them as a padding as a right, 35 pixel, and dot a over, and then I'm gonna give them the span after. I also don't gonna write it here right now. Then save. Let's see how this one is look like. As you can see, when I move my mouse over here, it's become transition here. As you can see, right hand side, left, it's become left side because which I write here padding as a right. If I write here as a, let's write down 90 pixel. So when I move my mouse, it's become this one look like. If I write here left, then it's gonna be going to the right, our text. So let's give them as a right, and let's give them the 35. Then this is how it look like. Okay guys, now let's add our opacity as a 1 and our right as a 0. Then save. This become opacity. Let's add our emoji or text here if you want to. So for that we need to write down here in the content. Okay guys, content double inverted, for greater than sign we need to write down here slash 00 bb. Then save. This is the code for our this one. As you can see, double arrow. If you write down double C, let's see how is, then it's gonna be this way, this sign. So there's all the different signs. So that's why I use this. So it's gonna look good. So let's do it, and then let's adjust this. This greater than sign is here arrow sign, whichever you call. So let's write down here position as a absolute. We need to write it here. Then save. This is our position absolute works here guys. We need to give the right and top here so it can visible. So I'm gonna give them the opacity as a 0, then top as a 0. Okay, then I'm gonna give the position as a right. I give them 100 pixel, then save, and I'm gonna write down the transition as a 0.6 second, then save. As you can see, it's not visible because of this our span tag, because I didn't give the position here. Okay, that's why I write down in the late. So as you can see, it's visible right now. It's come left to right. As you can see, our opacity which I give is become transition like this. If you want your this position into, so for right left right to come, then you just need to write down here minus sign, then it's gonna be come to here. As you can see, plus change it as a -10, then this is how it's completely written, not animation. That's why for the animation I've written down here 100. So here is come, and if you write positive, then it's gonna become this side. If you want this side to come, then you just need to change the position as a right to left, then save. So as you can see, so let's give them as a minus is here right now, as you can see. So that is how it works guys. So I'm gonna write as a right, give the positive value, and here is come. So that is how animated buttons works here, guys. Okay. If you want to do the pressed effect, as you can see, when we press our button, then it's gonna show the shadow or anything. You can also do that. So let's learn our pressed effect. So I'm gonna write down in the dot A here as a box shadow, 0 as a tab and 10 pixel. This is X and Y, and I give them the gray color. Now I'm gonna give the over here in spandex as a background color as a blue, and then box shadow as a 0 and 5 pixel gray. Then let's add our transform. I'm not gonna write here right now, so you can understand how it works. So let's save it. So as you can see our shadow here, okay guys, and when I move my mouse over here, it's become shadow right here, as you can see, and this is our blue, but okay, because we use here. So if you don't want this all this, so let's just clear this one. Okay, then let's just also clear this one. And here is also, let's change this one. So I'm gonna write it the new one as a click me, then save. So as you can see, when we move our mouse over here, it's become blue background color, and this is our shadow. As you can see, when I move, it's become slightly upper side because I give them the 5 pixel here when we move over our mouse, and this is our 10 pixel which we use. Okay, guys. So now let's write down here if you want to hover only red color. Okay, so I'm gonna give them as a red color only. So I'm gonna just copy this, just cut this one right now. Then let's write down here our active, then paste. So let's just copy this one and paste it in our hover. When we move, it's become red color, as you can see. Let's also add our some things as a transform. Okay, so I'm gonna give them the translate as a x, y, z, whichever we want. So I give them the y, then save. As you can see, when I move my mouse over here, it's become red. But when I click over here, as you can see, when I press it here, it's become y or y angle 15 pixel. Okay, if you do that here as a, let's clear this. Yeah. So let's write down here as a 50 pixel, then save. As you can see, when I click over here, it's doing like this. If I give them the X angle, okay, then write down capital X, then it's going to right side. And if you want to do that by Z, sorry, Z, yeah, Z, then it's only going to show the shadow over here. Okay, so that is how it's work, guys. Then now let's move forward to our padding. Okay, as you can see, when we it's become not opacity visible, and when we hover over there, then it's become visible padding to our normal one. So we are gonna do that one. So for that, let's write down here our opacity as a 0.5. then save. So I'm gonna clear this one, it's not needy right now, and I'm gonna add our in hover as a opacity 1, then save. As you can see, it's not visible right now. As you can see, because I give the opacity as a 0.5, but when I move over there, it's become visible. So that is how padding works here, guys. Now let's move forward to our the last one example, our ripple effect. Okay, so let's write down our age and after for that. So I'm gonna use this. Let's write down the new one here. Okay, for our, so I'm gonna write down. If you want to add these in the same also, you can also do that. So let's all overflow as a hidden, and position is already written here. If you want to, you can also do that. Let's just copy this one, paste, then position as a relative. So let's just cut this. Now let's write down our dot age and after. So let's give them the content as empty, which we don't need it right now. So let's give them the background color as red, then display as a block. And let's give them the position as absolute, then padding top and left, whichever you want. So I give them padding top, padding left. I didn't write now because so you can understand. I just write down the code which I need to write. So let's write down margin top. Let's give them the opacity and transition. Okay, this is our a dot after. But let's write down our dot a ram active as a after. So let's write down after. Curly brackets open and close. I give them the padding, then margin. Okay, I'm gonna cancel this one. Okay, this is over here. It's not needed right now in our transition. So let's give them the opacity as a 1. Don't need that right now. Let's write down the firstly code. Transition as a 0 second. Okay, and save. Let's see. As you can see, this is how it's visible right now. So now we are going to add our padding top. Okay, so I give them as a 200%. So let's see, it's not visible right because let's give them the opacity as a 0, then it's gonna be this. Now let's write down our here transition. Okay, I give them all as a 0.8 second, then save. Okay, now we are going to add a margin top here as a minus 110%. This is a margin left. I give them as a minus 30 pixel or whichever you want. If you want to important this one, you can also do that by doing this. So it's become important. And let's give them the 200% as a padding left. This is a padding top. Now, so as you can see. Now let's also add our after active after. Okay, so I give them the 0, 0, then our opacity as a 1. So it can be visible after. Okay, as you can see, when I click here, As you can see, when I click over here, it's become red and click our riddle effect. So for that, let's give them this overflow as a hidden here. If you want to, let's give them the opacity as a 0.2%. This is how it look like. So let's give them the 0.9 so we can see how our effect works. As you can see, this is our riddle effect works here, guys. If I do here 1, then save. As you can see, this is our riddle effect works here. If you want only this one or this one, you can also do that by changing this. Okay, so let's changing our padding left. So I'm gonna write it here as 100%. Then let's see. As you can see, it's become only this one. Okay, you can also do that by padding top if you want to. So let's see how it look like in 360 percentage. Become faster, right, as you can see. But if I write here 60 pixel on 60 percentage only, then it's become like this. Okay, if you want to add your margin top to change it, then let's give them 100% margin top. And as you can see, so that is how you can adjust your animation riddle effect. As you can see, it's only visible to this one, right? So that is how you can adjust your riddle effect, guys. If you have any query, write down in the comment section. And for the source code, also write down your email ID in the comment section. Okay, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.